Hi there. For this episode of Recent Reads, we are going to talk about bookish things and weird stuff. Cryptids, specifically. We are into the Cryptid Readathon, and I'm going to talk about what I have read so far and what I'm in the middle of, because I've read 3 books, and then I'm in the middle of a 4th right now. So we're doing pretty good, I feel. The first book we're going to talk about is called The Wendigo by Algernon Blackwood. The story is obviously about the Wendigo, which is a creature that is cannibalistic in nature, who once used to be a human, but then ate flesh and turned into this strange monster creature that runs in the cold, frigid wastes. You hear weird voices and stuff about burning feet and running really fast, and you become a shell of yourself, and don't turn into the Wendigo. This book is short and sweet. It follows the story of this hunting party, and they go out into the woods. I believe it's in Canada. They're going to hunt moose. And there's several people. This is written too in older times, so there's some offensive racist things in it, unfortunately. Algernon Blackwood is stupid. So this book was written in like 1910, and there's this party, and they go out, and they're not really having any luck finding anything. So they decide they're gonna split up. They're gonna send 2 of the guys across the lake. The other guys are gonna go to this other area. And across the lake, one of the guides, he's like super nervous about going over there. He kind of like has mentioned that there might be some weird creature there, and he believes in the Wendigo. So he goes anyway. Stuff gets weird when they're there. The writing is very picturesque. It paints a very interesting picture. The story flowed really well, and just with what happens. The one guy is there, and I believe he was like I don't know if he was a priest in training or seminary in training. He's there with his guide. And the guide is being all weird and kind of talks about the Wendigo a little bit and tells him about it. And then the guide disappears, and he hears him like yelling and saying, "My fiery burning feet," like out in the forest. He thinks the Wendigo has taken him because he told him the stories about it. And so he follows the footsteps, and there's 2 pairs. But then at some point, they just become so far apart that they don't even look human anymore, and it gets all weird. And so like the one guy, he goes back across the lake by himself and tells the other people what happened, and they're kind of like, they don't really believe it. But when they get there, they see things that make them believe. And it's kind of a crazy story. So the next book we read, called The Fright Before Christmas by Jeff Bellinger. This book talks about all the weird and darker side lore of the holiday season, with the strange creatures and persons such as Krampus and the Belsnickel and Grilla and her weird Yule sons and the Yule cat that if you don't wear any clothes on the holiday, it'll eat you. And it talks about all these strange and weird traditions, which is quite fascinating, and I loved it. It was so good. So I put this in for the Cryptid Readathon because who knows? Krampus maybe was a creature that people saw. I don't really know. But there's weird creatures in it, and they're cryptid-like, so I figured I would include this for my reading in the Cryptid Readathon. It's such a fantastic book. It's absolutely gorgeous. The hardcover edition. There's lots of pictures in it. The writing's fantastic. The way Bellinger writes, it's just very captivating. Some stuff that is history of weird stuff can also be boring, and this is not at all. Such a look into like the weirdnesses of older traditions from other countries around the world. That was a lot of fun. And if you're looking for a weird book for the holiday season to read, The Fright Before Christmas is awesome. So then after that, I read the book Confirmed Sightings, and that is 3 fictional stories about cryptids, and they're written by 3 different authors, and that is P.L. McMillan, Ryan Marie Ketterer, and Bridget D. Brave. And the first story is about this Piazza bird called the Piazza for Christmas, and how this makeup influencer awakens this old ancient god, and they start dating. And it's funny, disturbing, and a little bit depressing. And it was really well done. That was a fantastic story. And then the next one is Eye of Moth.exe, which refers to a program that, when viewed, causes maybe a sort of mania or insanity. And there's been this crew dispatched on the ship called the Piazza, and they are going to find out what happened there, like what is wrong, because the comms have been all shut off at the space station where this happened, where I guess this Eye of Moth virus has been unleashed, and maybe there is a rogue Mothman running around the space station killing people. We don't know. Well, I do know, but you'll have to read it to find out. And the last story is called Once Upon a Time in True, and it is a detective story featuring a police foot that is a Bigfoot named Orissa, And in the town, all the town is cryptids. Everyone is a cryptid. There are jackalopes, mothman, Jersey devils, kraken, mermaids, so many more strange and weird creatures. And there's a mystery because one of the jackalopes, the son of a very rich family, is found murdered, and Orissa has got to figure out who done it. And it's pretty darn good. And it was fun to have this whole town of cryptids and figuring out what the heck happened. So that's what I have read so far. What I'm currently reading right now is Where the Footprints End, Volume 2. This is a non-fiction book written by Joshua Cutchin and Timothy Renner, and I had previously read the first volume, which was awesome. And I feel like it's one of the best books on the Bigfoot phenomena that I've ever read. So I had put off reading this for whatever reason because I am a booktuber and we read a ton of books. And so I can't say I'm being lazy because I'm reading a ton of books every month, but I just had pushed off reading this. So the Cryptid Readathon obviously is the perfect time to revisit it. So I started reading that today. And so far so good. I'm only into like the first chapter, and it's talking about how the occurrence of the Bigfoot phenomena when seeing Bigfoot, how certain phenomena happens along with it. Like there'll be UFO sightings when Bigfoot's seen, or like weird glowing orbs, or how their eyes glow. And not like eye shine of reflection, like they glow from within. There's like little case studies too from over the years that go into this and like the different stuff that people have seen. And I don't know why I did not read this book sooner. It's freaking good. It's super interesting and it's really well written, and I knew that because I read the other one, and I don't know why I put it off for so long. But I mean, if you're a booktuber, you know how we do. Stuff you intend to read gets pushed back because another thing pops up, and then you're just making excuses. Yep. That's why everybody's doing that read what you own challenge, which I think is kind of a great challenge. I probably have a pile of stuff that I could do for that, but right now I'm doing the Cryptid Readathon. Next month, I've been doing readathons now for like 2 months straight. Last month was the Occult Detective Readathon, which was awesome. I read a lot of stuff in that genre that I hadn't read before, which was awesome, and it brought me back to some books that I had previously read and got more into with the Warlock Holmes series. And so now the Cryptid Readathon for this whole month, which has been a lot of fun so far. Next month, not doing any readathons. I'm gonna read whatever I feel like. Maybe try and catch up on some of the books I've been meaning to read that are just sitting on the shelf and on the floor and in random rooms around the house that are like, why are you ignoring me? We're sad. My books are sad that I don't read them. I can't read them all at the same time. What are they thinking? Anyways, like my books are sentient beings. Maybe, we don't know. Anywho, if you were a fan of books that have to do with cryptids, the next video coming up will be about another book that has to do with cryptids. Also, if you're interested in any of these books, I will have links down below to that. Those are affiliate links, which is a great way to support the channel and to also support indie bookstores. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.